based on Disney's Jungle Cruise ride, this movie's nothing short of an absolutely fun and crazy ride. This kid-friendly version of The Mummy, minus Dwayne Johnson's scorpion getup, mixed in with some Pirates of the Caribbean and Jumanji vibes, is the perfect weekend wind down. From bickering annoyance from the Quiet Place actress Emily Blunt, who's anything but quiet in this movie, to the fashionable bravado of her brother, along with embarrassingly bad jokes from dear Skippy, this movie's not going to disappoint with its thrill and humour. So buckle up and get ready for the top 10 moments from Disney's Jungle Cruise. While ever-loyal McGregor covers all fevers, Lily kickstarts the movie with a bit of theft of the sexist society of pruned old men. While Lily lockpicks, chloroforms and breaks her way into getting exactly what she wants, the society is downstairs, laughing at a paper written by a woman. The movie does a great job of addressing the societal issues at the time while keeping things nice and light as riding through the office on a ladder. This scene sets the opening for Jungle Cruise so perfectly, showing off a bit of action, a bit of history, a bit of danger, and downright nonsensical elements that make this movie a super fun watch. I love how Lily pretends to be that perfectly clueless woman society expects her to be, just to make an idiot out of everyone. It also perfectly sets the stage for the main characters, from Lily's tenacity to Joachim's deadliness and petty ego. And what better way to start a movie than with a botched up plan that failed successfully.
Heads up, coming through.
For a movie based on the famous Disney ride, this scene is a generous nod to that, riding on the terrible puns skippers make. See what we did there? Anyway, bad jokes aside, to the left of this scene you're going to see some more bad jokes, and to the right you're going to find yourself giggling at these bad jokes despite yourself. There was no better way to settle the audience into this wild and crazy adventure movie. One look at Frank's boat and you can tell that it's the cheapest. What the passengers don't know is that it's got some handmade adventures waiting for them. You get what you pay for, folks. What I love about this scene is how absolutely unfazed Frank is about everything. He's seen all of this a million times before, and he couldn't care less about the annoying, nagging passengers. But like Lily says, you're a lot of things, Frank, but you're most certainly capable. After all, how many skippers can patch up their engine, nearly kill their passengers, while taking them on a tailor-made ride?
You're all outstanding today. Now I need you all outstanding on the dock. That means get off my boat. I'm only serious.
What's a Disney movie without a beloved animal companion? And for Jungle Cruise, there's a giant, cute, furry murder cat, aka Proxima. This would definitely have made it to #1 if the jaguar didn't happen to be Frank's pet. But then again, it's only a scam if you fall for it, right? Besides, if you look closely, Frank isn't really fighting Proxima. He just slaps her, thrusts his own arm in her mouth, hugs her, then rolls around with her for a while right before throwing her a little snack. But I've got to admit, it was pretty convincing. Throughout the movie, Proxima plays a big role as Frank's cat, and this is one of the very few times she acts aggressively. For the most part, she's an attention-craving, adorable furball. This scene also reveals that Nilo isn't one to worry about, which is a great way to not clutter the story with too many bad guys. Also, did anyone notice how at the end of it all, Frank marketed his riders completely jaguar-free? As if.
Frank Wolf, Jungle Navigation. Best rates in town, completely jaguar-free. Thank you.
Yes, Lily may have been a little disoriented here, but in her defense, she was trapped in a cage full of birds. I think escaping the cage, beating up the bad guys, and rescuing some monkeys on the side is enough for one day, right? What better way to start the cruise of a lifetime than by getting kidnapped? Again, Disney managed to make the perfect mix of action and humor here in one scene. Lily takes the chance to flex all of her fighting skills, even practicing a few punches on poor Frank, who shrugs it off like the good sport he is. Meanwhile, Frank shows how the trick is to fight smart, not hard. Also, am I the anyone who got Dr. Bravestone vibes here? The dialogues in this scene are effortlessly hilarious. Combined with Frank's "I'm so done with this woman" expression, it's going to be impossible to watch this scene without a grin on your face. While the lines between Jumanji and Jungle Cruise get blurred, this scene makes me super curious to see what Emily Blunt would be like in Jumanji.
You okay, lady?
I'm fine.
You want to turn back, fans?
No, just getting started.
Good, me too.
For someone who's positively terrified of water, Lily definitely had a death wish when she wanted to take the route that might either save 2 days or bring the whole journey to a nasty end. I'm totally on Frank's side on this one here. He did warn her several times. Only Disney could turn a boat on the current scene into such a fun ride. Despite the possibility of death hanging over their heads, Frank's humour is lively as ever, even more so since Lily looks absolutely terrified. Also, Lily may very well have signed her own death warrant by asking Frank to give up the guitar. While Paul McGregor's tossed about the boat, these two bicker their way almost off a waterfall. Even poor Proxima loses her sea legs, or lake legs, or whatever it is Skippies call it. This is definitely one scene that's going to have the audiences on the edge of their seats. Despite all the insult throwing though, you gotta give it to Frank. He's a pretty skilled driver. Not everyone can almost kill their passengers, and this isn't the first time he does this. For nearly half the movie, Aguirre and his men were the big bad phantom villains. Sure, they were big and mean, but after centuries of rotting in a forest cave, what other supernatural powers have they got? This scene will answer those questions. First off, we have a guy that's a giant ball of swamp mud, then there's the literally sweet dude with honeybee messenger services. And finally, there's Evil Groot, a completely organic badass army, right? Last but certainly not least, there's Aguirre with his snakes. You might want to keep an eye out for your kids for this one because the animation here is so good, it's bound to give anyone goosebumps. Unfortunately though, his team is doing most of the muscle work while he stands around looking cool. Also, Frank throwing the arrowhead to Lily right before he falls to his death, if he was mortal at least, shows that he does have some trust in Lily. The scene is a wonderful mix of thrill and horror with just the right amounts of humour mixed in to keep the entertainment going.
You've got a little something in your bag.
Frank?
For a guy that's been stabbed over and over again, Frank's not too fazed by the sword sticking out of his chest. But of course, for us normal folk, seeing someone with a wiggly sword stuck in their chest is a freaky situation. Before hitting the audience with a winding, tragic backstory, Jungle Cruise makes a fun twist out of the revelation scene. Clearly, you don't survive a fall like that unless you're not human. It also gives a sneak peek at how Lily may like Frank a little bit more than she lets on. This is one of the most entertaining scenes of the movie. While McGregor wonders whether Frank's a vampire, which by the way is a terrible guess, Trader Sam says she's done pulling weapons out of him. Just how many times did this guy get stabbed? This scene also has a few stick-biting adult jokes popped in for the parents in the audience, while the kids can laugh away at Lily's efforts and Trader Sam's been there, done that attitude. It's a win-win for everyone.
I'm counting. 1.
Huzzah!
The first kiss in Disney movies is usually backed up with some music and slow-mo, occasionally with a few birds thrown in for dramatic effect. Jungle Cruise, on the other hand, squeezes it into the most unlikely situation, with a life-saving purpose to back it up, making this scene a showcase of masterpiece writing. For someone who spent centuries trying to find the tree and end his eternal torture, this moment was a pretty big deal for Frank, but the excitement of the situation is first slapped out of poor Frank, only to be kidnapped and shot. What a day. Disney's a well-known master of creating the most breathtaking scenes ever. From an entire lake draining out to reveal a mini Amazonian Atlantis to the tree coming back to life, this piece has some of the most mesmerizing scenes of the entire movie. Not only is this scene cinematography perfection, it also brings Lily's character arc full circle. Lily finally admits that she wouldn't mind Frank hanging around her, and 3 cheers for learning to swim, girl.
This is where you get off. Tell Lily she would have been world enough for me.
Where are you going?
Proxima, protect him.
Ah, the classic despised to beloved character arc. From being nothing more than a crafty crook to turning out to be a legendary cartographer, Frank's character did take quite a turn. When the time came for him to be the hero and sacrifice his life, Lily wasn't the only one in love with him. For nearly 400 years, Frank's been on the run, from the curse, from his friend, from guilt, and all the usual main character emotional baggage bundle. The scene is a bit of a cliche, but the flawless execution makes it super fun to watch still. Taking down his old friends, Frank does a good show of protecting the petal when all he was fighting for was that green-headed bird. That poor thing's been playing a decoy for the entire film. He even goes so far as getting stabbed again. It's a noble ending to someone who betrayed his friend to protect the lives of some innocent people. Although this wasn't a tearjerker scene, it's definitely an adrenaline-racing climax to this adventurous movie.
You know more about the tears of the moon than anyone, so
you know how to make it bloom. You will do this for me.
Ever patriotic and miserably tactless, Prince Joachim is one of the many parties dying to get his hands on the sacred flower. Only in his case, he really ended up dying for it. What good is a Disney movie without a power-hungry second-grade ruler? Now, Prince Joachim might not have the usual dashing good looks of a Disney prince, but he certainly has all the ambition of a desperate villain. What I love about this scene is how McGregor steps up because he was absolutely done with dealing with this prince's nonsense. Every single punch he lands is a well-dealt blow for all the annoying manipulations, not to mention how Joachim kept calling him little brother. This is one of Disney's many subtle but classic nods to getting the upper hand of nasty bullies. Also, did anyone notice how Proxima immediately shielded McGregor and Lily when mud-bathed Joachim came announcing murder? Best cat ever, right? In a concerningly violent death for a Disney children's movie, Joachim was finally stopped by the good old falling rubble trick. We're just as shocked as you are, McGregor. And those were the top 10 moments from Jungle Cruise. This movie may not turn out to be the next Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's definitely an awesome movie with jokes and action for audiences of all ages. Also, stick around for the credits because it's got some of Disney's best modern artworks. Which of these characters then was your favourite? And don't forget to share your own Skippy puns in the comments below. Thanks for watching and see you next time.